Right now, the Social Security Administration is mailing out back pay checks that average $6,710 each. Over 1.1 million people have already gotten one. More than $7.5 billion paid out. And here's the part that stops me cold. A lot of the people owed this money have no idea it's coming, and scammers are circling them right now. If you were a teacher, a firefighter, a police officer, or any kind of public worker, and you're already retired and collecting Social Security, listen very carefully. This could be you, and what you do in the next few minutes could protect thousands of dollars that are rightfully yours. So don't go anywhere. I'm June. I've spent more than 20 years helping American retirees protect their benefits and stop other people from quietly taking what they earned. And what I'm about to walk you through is one of the biggest Social Security changes in over 40 years. In the next half hour, I'm going to show you exactly what changed, who it affects, and the 3 simple steps you need to take right now to make sure your money reaches you safely. Now, one honest moment, because that's why you're here. You may have seen this called a born before 1955 thing. Let me be straight with you. Your birth year by itself is not some secret code that means you're owed money. 1955 just happens to be the year the full retirement age started creeping up. So if you were born before then, you've already reached full retirement age, which means you're almost certainly already retired and collecting. And that's the group this change hits hardest. So it's not your birthday that matters. It's your work history and whether you're collecting right now. I'll make that crystal clear as we go. And stay with me until step 3. That's where I'll show you the one mistake that even careful, rule-following retirees are making right now. The one that can cost you a lower benefit for the rest of your life. Let me tell you about Margaret. Margaret is 71. She lives in Texas. For 30 years, she taught 3rd grade. She loved it. And when she retired, she got a teacher's pension. A pension from a job that, in her state, didn't pay into Social Security. Now here's the thing. Before she became a teacher, Margaret worked other jobs. Real jobs where she paid Social Security taxes out of every paycheck for years. So when she retired, she expected a Social Security check on top of her pension. She'd earned it. But when that check came, it was small, painfully small, hundreds of dollars less than she expected. She called and asked why. They told her about a rule called the Windfall Elimination Provision. In plain English, that rule said, because you have a pension from a job that didn't pay into Social Security, we're going to reduce the Social Security you earned everywhere else. Margaret didn't think that was fair. Most people didn't, but it was the law, so for years she just accepted the smaller check. Then, in January of 2025, that rule was repealed. Wiped off the books, Margaret was finally owed her full benefit, plus back pay going all the way to January of 2024. But Margaret almost didn't get it. Why? Because she'd moved the year before and never updated her address with Social Security. Her direct deposit was tied to an old bank account she'd closed, so when the agency went to send her money, it had nowhere to go. Her payment got tangled up and delayed for months. And the most painful part? It was completely avoidable. A 5-minute check of her account information would have prevented the whole mess. And Margaret is not alone. According to Social Security's own figures, more than 3.2 million people were affected by these old rules. 3.2 million. Many of them, just like Margaret, born before 1955 and already retired. So let's break this down. I'm going to walk you through it in 4 parts, and I'll keep every bit of it in plain English. Part 1. What actually changed? Here's what the Social Security Administration actually says. On January 5th, 2025, a law called the Social Security Fairness Act was signed. In the agency's own words, it eliminates the reduction of Social Security benefits while entitled to public pensions from work not covered by Social Security. In plain English, that means 2 old rules just got erased. The first was the Windfall Elimination Provision. That's the one that hit Margaret, reducing the Social Security a person earned at regular jobs just because they also had a government pension. The second was the government pension offset, which did something even harsher. It could slash a husband's or wife's or survivor's benefit by 2/3 of their pension, sometimes wiping it out completely. For over 40 years, those 2 rules quietly took money from public servants. Now they're gone. And here's the timeline. The change is retroactive to January 2024. That means December of 2023 was the very last month those old reductions applied. Starting February 25, 2025, Social Security began sending back pay, and the higher monthly checks began with the April payment. What should you do because of this? If you or your spouse ever worked a public job with a pension that didn't take Social Security taxes out, pay close attention to the rest of this video, because this is about you. Part 2, who this actually hits. The official record is clear. The people affected are public sector workers with what's called a non-covered pension. In plain English, that's a pension from a job that didn't withhold Social Security taxes from your paycheck. Most often state and local government work. So, who are we really talking about? Teachers in certain states, firefighters, police officers, and federal employees under the older civil service retirement system. These are the people who spent their careers serving everyone else and got their Social Security cut for it. And because these folks are retired, they tend to be older. A great many were born before 1955. So if that's you or your spouse, this is very likely your money. What should you do? Think back over your whole career and your spouse's. If there was ever a government job with a pension and no Social Security taxes coming out, you may be owed a correction. Now here is the part that most people, including financial advisors, get completely wrong. Over 3.2 million Americans had their Social Security cut, or in some cases erased entirely, for decades, simply because they also worked an honorable public service job like teaching or firefighting. Think about how backwards that is. You serve your community for 30 years, and the government reduces the benefit you earned at your other jobs because of it. But here's the second half, the part nobody believes. In 2025, the government started fixing it and sending back paychecks that average $6,710 each. And get this, for most people already collecting, it's completely automatic. No application, no form, no fee. Social Security says it plainly. You do not need to take any action except to make sure they have your correct address and bank information. Let me say that again because it's so important. The single biggest correction to Social Security in 40 years, and for most people it requires zero paperwork. That's so unusual that scammers are using it against people. And that's exactly the trap I'll warn you about next. What should you do? Do not pay anybody a dime to release this money. It's free and it's automatic. Anyone telling you otherwise is trying to rob you. Part 3, the trap and the deadline that can cost you for life. Here's the official warning. After a huge change like this, scammers come out in force. They call, they text, they say things like, "We need a processing fee to release your back pay," or "Confirm your Social Security number and bank account to claim it." In plain English, that is always a scam. Social Security will never call you out of the blue demanding a fee or threatening you. For people already collecting, the correction is automatic. Period. But there's a second, separate trap that has nothing to do with this new law, and it can hurt anyone. According to AARP, the #1 cause of being underpaid is errors in your earnings history. That's the year-by-year record of everything you earned over your working life. It's the foundation Social Security uses to calculate your check. And if there's a mistake in it, a year missing, wages credited to the wrong person, your benefit is calculated too low. And here's the part that should make you sit up. There's a deadline to fix it. You generally have 3 years, 3 months, and 15 days after a given tax year to correct your earnings record. After that window closes, Social Security will not fix it, except in a few narrow cases like fraud or a clear clerical error, which means a mistake can become permanent, a smaller check for the rest of your life. What should you do? Check your earnings record now while you still can. I'll show you exactly how in a moment. Part 4. What happens if you do nothing? Let's be honest about the consequences. If you're already collecting and your address and bank information are current, good news. The correction happens automatically and you won't lose your back pay. But if your contact or banking details are out of date like Margaret's were, your money can get delayed or misdirected for months. If you never check your earnings record and there's an error sitting in it past that deadline, that one is the painful one. It can become permanent, a lower benefit for life. And if you fall for a scammer's fee, you lose money to fraud and hand over information that can be used to steal your identity, all for a benefit you were entitled to receive for free. So none of this is about panic. It's about doing 3 simple things. Let's go through them right now. 3 steps, just 3, because 3 is what we'll all actually remember. Everyone is free, and everyone takes less than 15 minutes. Step 1, log in and verify your information. Go to ssa.gov ssa.gov/myaccount. That's ssa.gov/myaccount. Create your free My Social Security account if you don't have one, and check two things: your mailing address and your direct deposit bank information. Make sure both are current. This is the single most important thing you can do to make sure your back pay and your higher monthly check actually reach you. It takes about 10 minutes and it is completely free. Step 2. Check your earnings record and your benefit. While you're logged into that same account at ssa.gov/myaccount, pull up your earnings history. Look it over year by year. If you spot a year that's missing or wrong, report it to Social Security. If you need help, ask for the free publication called How to Correct Your Social Security Earnings Record. That's publication E-N 0510081. Do this soon, because remember, once that 3-year window closes, the error can be locked in for life. Step 3. This is the one most people skip. Protect yourself from the scam. Write this down and put it by your phone. Social Security will never call you demanding a fee to release your back pay. If you have a real question, you call them at 1-800-772-1213. That's 1-800-772-1213. You make the call. You don't pay anyone. If you skip this step and trust the wrong voice on the phone, you can lose money to fraud and your identity along with it. For a benefit that was always free and automatic. That's it. Verify your info, check your earnings record, and guard yourself against the scam. 3 steps. This week. Before you go, do me a favor. Drop a comment below and tell me, did you know about this change? Just type yes or no. I read every single comment and I reply to as many as I possibly can. And if you have a parent, a sibling, or a friend who was a teacher, a firefighter, a police officer, or any kind of public worker, please share this video with them right now. It could put thousands of dollars back in their pocket or stop them from getting scammed out of it. That share button is right below. If you're not subscribed to Retirement Tax and Law Pro yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post new videos every Tuesday and Friday breaking down exactly these kinds of rules because they change constantly and you deserve to hear about them from someone who'll give it to you straight. And in my next video, I'm covering the Social Security earnings limit, the rule that can have the government hold back your entire monthly check if you earn even $1 too much while working. It catches millions of people off guard, and most have never heard the real numbers. Click right here to watch it now. I'll see you there.